That's a really good question. Keep in mind, as I say this, I'm talking about Pennsylvania. I've never been locked up anywhere else. One of the first things they'll make you do when you get to classification in Pennsylvania is take a drug test. That is the only drug test that you will get that you are allowed to fail and not get a write-up for. The reason you won't get in trouble for a dirty urine on that first one is because you weren't in their custody when you were using the drugs. Because like I said, it's one of the first things you do. You might have been there for an hour before you're pissing in the cup. Each prison in Pennsylvania sends out random drug tests each and every morning. They'll call about 20 or 30 people down to piss in a cup every single day. So basically, during morning count, they'll come to your door and be like, hey, you have to go take a urine as soon as count clears. As soon as count clears, you have to go down to intake and take your piss test. Once you get down to intake, they give you a 2-hour timer. So if that timer runs out and you haven't pissed yet, you go to the hole. They'll have little cups down there so people will be drinking water trying to make sure that they can piss before the 2 hours is up. Whenever you're ready to piss, you get up and you go into the sergeant's office. The sergeant will hand you a cup. He'll watch you piss. You put the piss on the counter, you put the cap on it, you sign over the seal, and then you seal the cup. They do that to make sure that nobody tampers with it. And then you head back to your cell. The jail will send those samples out to the lab, and then once they get the results, either nothing will happen because you were clean, or they'll come and book you and take you to the hole. So that's the process for a random test. They also have what they call an investigative piss. So normally to get an investigative test, a CO saw that you were acting weird, or somebody wrote a request slip on you, or something like that. Now this is different from a random test because like I said, for a random test, they'll let you know and then you go down to intake and you do your urine. For an investigative, they'll come to your cell, they'll cuff you up and bring you down to intake. And you'll sit there in cuffs until you're ready to piss. Another way that it's different is it's an instant cup. So you'll piss in it and it'll give you your results right then instead of waiting for the lab work to come back. If it comes back clean, they uncuff you and let you go about your day. If you come up dirty, once again, they take you to the hole. Now when I first went upstate, if you pissed dirty, you did 90 days in the hole, no halftime. Just as a side note, when I say halftime, that means half the time you're supposed to be in the hole is what you actually do in the hole. So if you're arguing with the CO and you get 30 days, you might only have to do 15. But drugs, weapons, and assaults are not eligible for halftime, so you'd have to do that entire time. So like I said, it's 90 days with no halftime. During the time that I was in prison, the punishment for having a dirty urine became less and less the longer I was there. Because so many people started getting dirty urines, they didn't have room in the hole for everybody. So like I said, you would get 90 days, no halftime. When I left in 2019, people were only getting 15 days cell restriction for dirty urines. But regardless of the punishment that you get for a dirty urine, you're still not making parole. It doesn't matter if you get 90 days. It doesn't matter if you get 1 day cell restriction. Over my 7.5 years in prison, I maybe took 20 or 30 drug tests, which is maybe like 3 a year. It's not that many. But I had a trick to make sure that I passed each and every one of them. If you don't get high, you can pass each and every drug test that they give you, no matter if it's random or not. One more thing I forgot to add. To be released from Pennsylvania, you also have to give a clean urine. So after you make parole, they'll give you a urine, you pass it, you go home. And unfortunately, I've seen a lot of people pass it. Like, why would you be fucking around right before you leave, bro?